Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar. Wow, lots of you. This is amazing. Such a popular topic. I will introduce myself first. I am Lorna. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Enterprise Nation, and I will be your host for the next half an hour. Firstly, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's a really busy time of year. This is the second of three webinars from a campaign that we're running in partnership with Dell Technologies and Intel called Work Reimagined. But today's session is all about helping you figure out where AI can make the biggest difference in your business. And I'm so delighted to be joined by our expert Solo from Dell, who will be sharing his insights and top tips and tools to help small businesses with three key areas. Those key areas are saving time, a big one, cutting costs, and boosting productivity. Um, I really encourage lots of interaction from you all. So if you've got any questions during the webinar, please just pop them in the chat. Loving the introductions as well. Gosh, that's brilliant. Someone from Thailand's joining us. You'll also see right now we're running a poll. We'd be really grateful if you could participate in that too. But I will hand over to Solo, who will be our expert for the day. And as I say, please do fire in your questions in the Q&A box and we will pick them up towards the end of the session. I will now hand over to you, Solo.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, evening, and morning, where everyone's from. My name is Solo. I am a systems engineer here at Dell. You'll be lucky to know, actually, my background, I've just recently come over to Dell and I've come from Intel. So got a big fill of boots to fill in terms of the experts. But as Lorna said, today we're going to go through AI and how AI can help you in sort of three fundamental key places, right? And if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask at the end. We've got a Q&A and we'll go through that as well with you guys. So before I go into initially the whole concept around AI and looking at, saving time, cutting costs, and productivity, let me try and set the scene. Within the world of AI PCs, there's two elements to devices. First one is AI PC, which is called an AI PC, which has a CPU, GPU, and an NPU. And for those of you who don't know what an NPU is, it is a neural processing unit. You are most likely used to your standard conventional devices, which have a CPU and a GPU. CPU is the brains behind everything. GPU does all the graphical interface. Over the last couple of years, Intel has added the NPU, which is a neural processing unit. So that is your first segment. The other element, or there's another segment of PCs which are called Copilot Plus devices. And these also have a CPU, GPU, and an NPU. However, the NPU is far more powerful than what you see in AI PC, right? So this is just, I wanted to make sure that this is all clarified and everyone's got a good understanding of it. The other benefits of a Copilot Plus device is basically you first of all get much more better battery life. We're talking all day battery life. And second of all, the element of AI processing is what they measure in TOPS, trillions for operations per second. I know it's quite technical, but basically how quickly it can solve AI issues. The Copilot Plus device is the far more superior. Now, today what we're going to do is we're going to show a few demos. As you can see on the screen, I'm sharing my screen and I have a Dell Pro Premium. And this is actually a Copilot Plus device. And you can see that if I go into here, that this will not only have a CPU and a GPU, but as you can see, there's also an NPU, right? Oh, you can't see my screen. Okay, no problem. Let me just share. Let's have a look. Can you see my screen now?
We can, yes.
Perfect. No problem. Apologies for that.
See
So
Task Manager. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. You can see the task manager. Perfect. So you can see CPU, GPU, and now the NPU. So this is a Copilot Plus device, right? So this has pretty much all the functionality for an AI PC. Now, the first demo I want to show you, which is basically saving time, right, is Canva. This is you can download it for free, you can use it, but there's licensing to it, but you can start using it straight away. Now, what this does is this basically allows businesses to create their own interactive videos, right? And it's free of charge in terms of creating it. As you obviously go to licenses, you can build them out there. And if I start recording the screen now, what you'll see is this will now start recording the screen and it will start building if you're doing your own webinars or building your own videos out to show your own tool sets. You can go ahead and do this and it will show you. I'm just randomly clicking for now just to show you how this video editor works. And if I go back here, it'll bring this up. I'm just clicking randomly and I'll stop the recording. You're probably thinking, what is he doing? You'll see now, this is now created a whole video. I'm going to try and turn the volume off. Oh, let me just... So what you can see now, you can see I've just created this video and all the clips and everything else at the bottom are all done via AI. And you can pretty much adjust this and how you want this to look, right? So for anybody building out their own webinars or for their business, they can do this. You can also go into it and adjust stuff like add a background, right? So you can have an AI background, or as you can see on the right-hand side, you've got myself recording in there. I can remove myself, and I can also move myself as well, as you can see. Oh, there we go. I can move myself around, and then using the MPU on the device, you can also do AI clarity. So, for example, if you are creating your own webinars and you can hear the background noise, I don't know if you can hear it on this. I should be sharing it. Let me know if you can hear it. There, there's a lot of background noise. And just by using the AI enhanced voice clarity, it will remove all the background noise from this. And now a lot of these tools are, and you can do this. So this will basically allow you to create your own webinars. Now, this is obviously there are other tools out there that you can use, but this is something that you can use to save a lot of your time, right? The other tool I want to show you is more around cutting costs, right? And the reason why I'm going to show you this tool is because working at Intel and actually showcasing it to a lot of our customers out there, they are very shocked because first of all, this tool is free of charge. You can go as long as you have a Copilot Plus device, you can go ahead and pretty much download this tool straight away. And that's called AI Playground. So one of the first things you can do is create images as well. So this is basically all done locally on your device. So it's pulling certain information down, but in terms of the processing of it, it's done on the device. So if I go ahead and say, create me a picture of a horse, a black horse, go ahead and do this, generate. And this is where you'll be cutting costs because this is a free tool. You don't need to go ahead and pay for anything, right? So it'll use the model and it'll allow you to download all the different models to be able to generate this. And it'll start now creating an image of a black horse. Again, it's done locally on the device. If we show you this, yeah, so we're just waiting for that to generate. There we go. So we're doing that. So you can see it's an image of a black horse, right? So this is basically something you can do. And then what you can do is you can download it as well afterwards once it's done. And then you can also enhance it as well in terms of making it, upscaling it. Or if you've already got pictures there, you'll be able to upscale them as well. And then the other tool, which is really, really useful, is the answer piece. So not only you've got a chatbot, which is similar to, your ChatGPT or Copilot, which we'll go into that in a bit more details, but you've also got something called RAG capability. And that's basically being able to put in documents into this, this is the first time it's loading, so hence why it's a bit slow, because when you first load it, it just gets up to speed. Um, you'll be able to put in documents in this, and you'll be able to. So we'll get to the questions in a minute. I've just seen a couple of questions, and we'll go into that in a second. Just taking time. Bearing in mind, everything I'm doing right now, guys, is all live. So I appreciate it. Sometimes it doesn't always go to plan. So we're doing it live and it's loading the art. It is a big. There we go. Starting to. Right, so it's now loaded. Is the time in Thailand? Because I saw someone coming from Thailand. So it's currently 7 hours ahead. And then also what you can do is, as you can see, I can go ahead and put in any document in, and I can start questioning it. So if I go into this PDF, for example, Intune PDF, add it, I can start going, what is this document about? And then it'll start retrieving information from that document that is enabled. Right. So this is a really powerful tool. It will actually start cutting costs, because think of how much time you are saving just by using this, and it'll go through line by line. So this document to be a technical guideline or a manual for publishing an application in Intune. So this is something that is free to use as long as you have a MPU, or especially a Copilot Plus device, right? And then what you can do is, obviously, you can also use it as a normal chat, and you've got multiple different options, right? So it's not just the one model, you've got multiple different models that you can choose from, as you can see, but you can have a little play around with it and download what you want. Each model will run differently because they are programmed differently. But again, this is a free of charge tool. Cool. So the next tool I want to talk to you guys about is talk about productivity. Now, from a productivity standpoint, the one thing that everyone knows about is Copilot, right? So you've got Copilot Chat, which is this, right? So this is basically your Chat GPT. And again, most people have either used it or haven't used it, but what is, so we'll do this one. So this is available as well for free as long as you have a Copilot Plus device. Now, the other thing I would say is there's other features within a Copilot Plus device, which are, for example, if you want to summarize a document, if you want to search a document, you've got something called Click to Do. That is only available on the Copilot Plus devices. As you can see, you'll see these little Copilot buttons. And from here, for example, if I want to go ahead and select all, and then if I go into, I can either get it to summarize it for me. So it will tell me exactly what's happening with this document. And all the questions I will go through near the end. I've seen a lot of questions, great questions. I will go through that in a second with everyone. So you can do summarizing. You can do, for example, if I go into the other one, gonna summarize. It's a big document. It's nearly 5,000 characters. I shouldn't have done that one. Um, there we go, summarizer. So this is again similar thing you can use, and this can be used. The Copilot feature can be used in any application, not specifically where the Dell AI Playground is only within AI program where you have to add the documents. And then this is obviously local. The other good thing about Copilot is Copilot, if you've got it for business, guess what? All your data is local. So you don't, unlike ChatGPT, where when you put something into ChatGPT, it's available for everyone else to see. Where Copilot, you can lock it down to have the data locally or within your network or within your environment, which is great, right? The other things you can do, you can also get them to rewrite these things. I shouldn't have done that because that's a document I need for later on. That's perfect. Where it will rewrite the whole text for you as well, right? So these are some of the features that you get within Copilot Plus. I know we've only got sort of half an hour, and I can see there's a lot of questions to go through, but these are some of the free tools that are available that are only available on a Copilot Plus device or an AI PC, right? So And even here, you can do similar things like RAG. For someone who asked earlier, you can add your own content and you get it to, or images and get it to summarize it. And this is all available on the Dell Copilot Plus devices. Now, that is, there we go. That's rewriting the whole scripture or the whole instructions, making it easy for me to do it and how to deploy it. As you can see, you can change the length, the tone, and the format of it as well. But always, one thing I always say with AI generated content, always check, because sometimes it can make mistakes. So they were the sort of the free demos that you guys can go ahead and start using for free. I know I went through this quite quickly because there's a lot of things to go through. I see there's a lot of questions as well. So shall we open up Q&A?
Hi, Solo. Yes, we absolutely can. Yes, lots of questions from
There's a
everyone,
lot
which
of
is
questions.
brilliant. Right, where do I start? Tess is asking, welcome, Tessa. I hope that was useful. What is an AI PC?
So an AI PC is basically a PC that can do AI workloads or tasks on the device. Now, a lot of people say, I've got a PC currently, and yes, that can do AI tasks. And I mean, like I said, I've been with Intel for the last 6 years, and I've just come across to obviously Dell, and I've tested non-AI PCs and AI PCs. Yes, you can go ahead and do all the AI workloads of what you see right now on a non-AI PC. But guess what? You will see your computer slowing down. And I've tested it across multiple devices. You will also see the battery get drained. I've done one test where I've got an AI PC and a non-AI PC, and the battery's literally slashed in half because there's a lot more processing that needs to be done. So that is what an AI PC is. AI PC is basically a dedicated AI PC which has not just a CPU and a GPU, but it also has a neural processing unit, NPU, which allows to offload a lot of the AI tasks. Hopefully that's answered your question.
Lovely, thanks, Solo. Next question from P Pavaris. How do I know if I have Copilot Plus? Great question.
So that is a very good question. The only way you can check is, so even though the new devices, so both AI PCs and Copilot Plus devices, what you will now see where we used to have two control buttons or two alt buttons on our devices. One of them's now removed and you've got a dedicated Copilot key. You will see that, but the only way to actually know that you've got a Copilot Plus device is it would actually say it on the device as a Copilot Plus. It's very difficult to actually know you've got a Copilot Plus device because both of them, for example, if I show the task manager, both of them will say that it's got an NPU. But the only way to actually know is obviously go into your spec and actually understand, and it will show you here. I click into the device, it will show you the NPU itself. In this case, this is a 18 gig shared memory with the NPU. So this is how you can check. But it is quite difficult. I'm not gonna lie. It is difficult to check exactly which one is a Copilot Plus device. But I would go and actually put your code or put your model number into Google and find out if it is or not.
I know something that we're offering on the Dell Work Reimagined landing page is
Mhm.
you can actually speak to an expert from the Dell team. So maybe that's also a way if people want to check their devices, and they can do that as an option. Would you suggest that's a good idea, Solo?
Yeah, that's a good option. And if you're looking at the Dell devices, most of the Dells, I think, if you look at a Dell Plus or a Dell Premium, they'll be the two devices, or even the XPSs. Actually, all the XPSs are currently, from what I'm aware of, they are all Copilot Plus devices. But you can do that as well. You can also ask for this, but expert, and they will, because certain devices have got two flavors, both AI PC and Copilot Plus.
Lovely. Next questions just come in. Did your device come with 18 gigabytes of RAM or did you upgrade it?
So that's a very good question. So in terms of the RAM side of things, that's a separate RAM. That's a GPU RAM. That's not the same as normal. So my device comes with 32 gig of RAM. With Copilot Plus devices, you have two options. One, 16 gig, two, 32 gig. That 18 gig is just for the GPU. That's for the graphical interface. So that is something because I've got a 13 gig device, which is a so 32 gig RAM device. That 18 gig is for my GPU, and that comes standardized because everything's soldered onto the device.
And for those that aren't too clear what a GPU is, could you just break that down for us, Solo?
Perfect. So GPU is a graphical user. So just like let's break this down. You've got the CPU, which is the brains that does all your daily functions, right? Every time you click a device, every time you click something, it will be doing all the processing every single day thing. The GPU is basically the graphical interface. So the screen that you're seeing right now, anytime you pop something up, or if you're playing something, or if you're doing some CAD work, whatever it is, that is basically the process of a GPU, and that's what it allows the GPU to do is to process that video. And then the NPUs there sit in the background to do some of the AI workloads.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. Gosh, it's also mind-boggling. Thank goodness you're here to simplify it.
No, no, no. I can see a lot of questions, and I'm actually quite actually happy with some of these questions.
Absolutely. Would you say that much RAM is necessary? How much does and then a very specific question, which is how much does the Copilot device cost? And does it also work as a normal Windows PC?
Yeah. So in terms of a Copilot Plus device, so most of the Copilot Plus device, you'll only get two variants. 16 gig is sufficient, but 32 gig, if you want to push it, if you are going to do something a lot more heavier, is there. I mean, mine's 32 gig. And in terms of it is a normal device, right? You can use it in normal, but what you're doing, you are future-proofing yourself. That's what you're doing. Because realistically, if you look at over the next 12 to 24 months, the concept of I'm here talking about NPU and AI PC over the next 2 years, I'll be very honest with everyone, that's just going to be a norm. That is going to be a norm. And this is what I'm seeing coming from the background that I've come from. There won't be any, standard. These will be the new standard of PCs in general.
Fascinating. I love this question that's just come in from Salim. Salim, thank you for joining us. Salim's asking, as a charity, how can we
Mhm.
benefit from AI? Could you maybe share some examples, Solo, how a charity can benefit from, yeah, all of the
Well,
above?
so, Salim, and that's a great question. So from just having an AI PC, right? In terms of having all these different costs and everything else, and even the productivity perspective, right? If you look at Copilot, let's just give you that as an example, right? You can use Copilot on a daily basis, not just to summarize your documents, but not only just that, you'll be able to, redo your email. From a charity perspective, we understand, charities don't have a lot of budgets to spend on, thing when you have the infrastructure there, like having a Copilot Plus PC, guess what? You are able to be more productive, right? That's the key thing because now using Copilot, not only can I rewrite my emails, I can also understand, if I've got a document, I needed to summarize it or, give me a high level overview. Guess what? I'm able to do it and it's free of charge. So this is where you'll be a lot more from a charity perspective. In the long run, yes, you'll fork out up front, but in the long run, you're able to do a lot more and be a lot more productive.
Yeah, great answer. Hope that helps, Salim. Simone, I've just ordered a Dell 15, a 16 gigabytes and 512 gigabytes. How will it
Mhm.
shape up with AI?
So Dell 15, let me see exactly. That's a very good. I'm just trying to see which. So you've ordered Dell 15. Perfect. Your Dell 15, is it a Copilot device? Let's have a look. So you've got, I'm guessing, depends which version you've gone from. If you've gone for, yeah, it depends on if it's the Intel version and it's got the AI built in, then yeah, you'll be able to use a lot of these features as well. So
Brilliant.
it all depends on which version you have gone for, whether you've
So
got the
Simone has the
Intel one.
DC15255.
Oh, perfect. DC1525. Okay. So that 255 is not an Intel version. That is actually an AMD version. You will have to check on that one whether that one is actually an AI PC or not. I don't think that one is.
And could Simone sort of upgrade some features within the laptop?
You
If
won't be able to do it afterwards. You will need to, obviously, if you just order it, I would reconsider. I will speak to an expert, and if you are looking towards an AI PC, most likely, I don't think that is an AI PC. The one that you, I'm just looking at it now. I don't think that is an AI PC. Just double check for you, Simone. Yeah, I don't think this. That's a standard PC. That still has Copilot, so you can still use it, but it's not a full-fledged AI PC. So if you did want all of the features, I would look at sort of upgrading it towards an AI PC. Something with from an Intel point of view, it will have Core Ultra CPU. So anything with a Core Ultra, you'll be able to get, and that will have it.
When purchasing a new device, what are some good
Mhm.
questions that people should be asking Solo?
So first thing is from an Intel point of view is make sure that it's a Core Ultra. That's the key thing because if it says Core, that is not an AI PC or even a Copilot Plus PC. Second thing is one thing, if you are looking at AI, I would stick with minimum 16 gig. I would not go, the new norm is changed. Gone are the days where 8 gig was enough. You see, all these applications are all getting innovative with AI. So I would always make sure that you've got at least 16 gig of RAM and 256 of, or say 512 of hard drive. So it gives you enough space. That's the three things I look at. Make sure it's a Core Ultra, 16 gig, and 512.
Okay, fab. That's really helpful. Um, Another question. Gosh, they are coming in thick and fast. Can you please speak on credit usage with AI? What does credits mean as far as how much workflow can be done?
Credits.
Did you mention
Hmm,
credits a little bit earlier on?
no. Oh, that's probably for Canvid. Yeah, there's a use case for Canvid, but that's if you can just clarify that question in a bit more detail,
Okay.
that'd be perfect.
That came in from an anonymous attendee, so hope you can, yeah, jump back into the Q&A and maybe clarify that question. Thank you. Another question about the recording of this webinar. Absolutely, you will get that in your inbox later today. You will have seen that we've just launched our second poll, so please do take that so we can gauge the effectiveness of today's webinar. Any other sort of final questions? I'm just having a skip
Can
through.
I pick on one question, if that's
Please,
okay? So it
absolutely.
says AI PCs like DeepSeek thing. DeepSeek can run on a so DeepSeek is a model, right? DeepSeek is a model that basically, for that person that's asked, you can actually run DeepSeek on this device locally, as you can see there. So this is a open source model, and for that person I asked, you can run it. So DeepSeek is just a model that does AI, right? But you can run it on our devices and it's run locally. I will need to download it. I click on, there you go. So it'll ask me to download it, and then once I download it, I can start using it, and it's free of charge because it's an open source model. So just for that question,
Great.
any AI you can
So,
recommend to make our lives. When you say AI, AI in itself is a massive buzzword. I would use something like Copilot, right? So when I'm talking about this, because this will help both your work and your business. The reason why is I use this on a daily, right? Because first of all, I know from a Copilot's perspective, it's not going anywhere, right? It's not going anywhere and it's staying here. Second thing is you'll be able to ask your regular. I mean, I use AI on a daily basis. I'm a bit of a nerd, guys, as you can probably tell. So yeah, I use it on a daily basis. So with this, it will change how you do your daily life. So literally use it for, use something like Copilot to put in, documents, images, and that will stay local.
brilliant. So Jennifer's actually expanded on her question earlier about the credits. She says, are tokens used by AI platforms? Some AIs charge for these to use the model. So I think Lovable, as an example, I'm pretty sure they run on a sort of token basis.
So that token basis is for the models themselves, correct? So that's if you are using the LLMs and actually doing it, and now we're going to get in technical, using the APIs to be, yes, a certain majority of LLMs will allow you to do a certain amount of tokens for free of charge. If you're pushing the boundary and using APIs, which is actually taking it from them, then they will charge you. However, something like this, where I have locally downloaded the model, so this Llama model is locally downloaded. I am not using their infrastructure. So when you are using an LLM's infrastructure and using the APIs, and like you said, you will get charged for tokens because you're using their infrastructure and you're doing everything via the internet. By having a Copilot Plus device, I have downloaded that model locally, and guess what? I'm using my own device, in this case, a Copilot Plus device, to actually run that token instead of theirs. That's when they charge you, is when you use their infrastructure.
Beautiful. Thanks for that, Solo. Some great questions have come in during this half an hour. I really hope that was useful. Um, as you can see on this slide, we have a QR code. So please do scan that if you want to discuss for free with the team at Dell in more detail how to simplify your tech setup. I know it can be quite mind-boggling, but AI can really help improve your performance. Look out for our follow-up email later today. That will include a link to the above, plus how to get exclusive discounts on Dell products, plus how to download our Getting AI Ready, the small business tech checklist, which is super, super useful. And then, as signing up for this webinar, you'll be delighted to know that you will have seen on the registration page that you are automatically entered into the chance to win a Dell prize bundle featuring a laptop, monitor, and headphones. So the winner will be announced at the end of Jan. So please do watch this space. Solo, massive thanks for your time today. That was super useful. And many thanks as well to our attendees for sparing time out of your busy days. Thank you very much, Solo.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Bye. Bye bye.